Bearing, we know, is a clockwise measure of a point from the North Pole. Recall the four cardinal points. We have the North and the East here, the South and the West. So in bearing, we start from the North. That's why we say our definition is a clockwise measure of a point from the North. So our North here can be our 0 and as well can be our 360 degrees. So from 0 to East makes a 90 degrees, and from this to that makes a 180, which is a straight line, and from 180 to the West gives us a 270 degrees, which is the western line. So let's consider the following examples, which says illustrate the following bearings using diagrams. Bearing, as we have defined, is a cyclic representation of a point from the North Pole in a clockwise direction, or we say it is a clockwise representation of a point from the North Pole. Here the North Pole is same thing as 0 or 360, the East is 90, South is 180 and West is 270. So we have bearing of A from B, so we note that our measure is from B, so we can have this to be point B now, and 40 is located on the first quadrant because we have 0 to 90, so it can be any line drawn from here to locate point A. And the bearing is actually written from the north, so this is north here and we have 40 degrees. Now the bearing of A from B, still from B, we have point B here, is 150 degrees. So let's consider this as B now. 150 is found on this quadrant, so we go this way down to point A. So this is point A. And our measure from the north is 150 degrees. Now for the third one, we have bearing of A from B, still from B, is 200. So we have point B here, and we know that 200 exists on the third quadrant, so we can move from the third quadrant down to point A, and our measure is from the northern pole. So we have this to be 200 degrees. And finally we have for 305, and still from the point B, so we have here to be point B now, and 305 is likely found on the last quadrant, which is the fourth quadrant, because we have 272 and 360 to be there. So 305 is found here, and our measure is from the north, so down to the line is 305 down to point A. Considering this example here, which says that the bearing of town A from town B is 60 degrees, find the bearing of B from A. Now we should note that the bearing of town A from town B is not the same thing as the bearing of town B from town A. So we have this now to be from B, so we can draw our point here starting from point B. And if we have it to be from B, 60 degrees is found on the first quadrant, so we can extend this to point A. Now if this is point A now, we know that bearing is measured from the north, so if this is our northern line, then here is 60 degrees from the north. Then we can see that by extending these lines, we find out that both lines are parallel. An angle found on opposite sides of a parallel line is called an alternate angle. So by measure, this angle here is equal to this angle, and that is 60 degrees. Now the bearing is a measure from the north pole. This is the north. So for us to find the bearing of B from A now, we start our measurement from the north. From the north, we have here already to be 90 plus another 90, which gives us 180, and 180 plus 60 degrees gives us 240 degrees. Therefore, we say that bearing of B now from A is 240. We have the Statue of Liberty to be on a bearing of 220 degrees from Manhattan. In what direction is Manhattan from the statue? Now, we are considering from Manhattan, so we can have this to be Manhattan, and 220 degrees is found on the third quadrant, so we can have this to be 220 degrees from the north. Now, this actually locates the Statue of Liberty down here, SL. Now, the question is, what direction is Manhattan from the statue? Now, from the statue, we have this to be the northeast direction. So that means that Manhattan is on northeast of the Statue of Liberty, and the Statue of Liberty is from southwest of Manhattan.